How's it going? Today I wanted to talk about the absolute waste we have in government, if you weren't already aware. Of course, there's always more and more evidence of this, but today we have a report out from the Senate. Only 6% of federal workers show up in person on a full-time basis, scathing Senate report reveals. So, what this is saying is that people just aren't showing up for work. Ever since the pandemic, people started remote working, and almost all of them have refused to return. So, let's get into this. They're being remotely professional, is what the New York Post writes. A paltry 6% of the federal workforce report in person on a full-time basis, while almost 1/3 of federal workers are remote on a full-time basis, and a sharp turnaround from the pre-pandemic era in which only 3% teleworks daily, a report from Senator Joni Ernst's office found. Ernst, a Republican in Iowa, who has long crusaded against the rise of federal work, is planning to reveal the fruits of her office's year-and-a-half inquiry to the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, co-heads Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy during their visit to the Capitol Thursday. So that's today. There already were videos of Vivek and Elon at the Capitol. So hopefully they can get into this report. It's not like there's a lot to get into. It's just I kind of just want to use this as an excuse to complain about government and how they just love wasting our money and how taxes are theft. So this is insane though. How is it that we can have only 6% of people showing up for work? If 94% of people are doing work from home, what work is that? What does that work look like? I can't imagine it's very difficult. I can't imagine that their workload is a lot. I mean, think about when the government shuts down. Does your life change a whole lot? Not really. I mean, you can't go to national parks. Or no, you still can go to national parks, but there's no park rangers. All the necessities are still paid for, so whoever these people are, they're not a necessity if they can remotely work. And this article also goes into that not only are they remotely working, but they moved miles and miles away, and now they're getting the pay of where they're supposed to be working while living in another place. So, let's say the average income is however much where they're living. They're getting a pay that's way above that because they're supposed to be living and working in DC or wherever their office is located, but they're not doing that. So now they're taking advantage of a pay raise that they probably don't need. I also forgot to mention DOGE. If you don't know what DOGE is, I'm very excited about DOGE. Department of Government Efficiency. Hilarious name. I think it's perfect. It's going to be headed by Vivek Ramaswamy, which I love Vivek Ramaswamy. I hope he runs for president again. He stepped down to let Trump take the reins, which I also agree with. And Elon Musk, I love Elon. I love what he's done with, I don't like that it's called X. I do like when it was called Twitter. I sometimes refer to it as Twix now, but it is X. I don't like calling it X, but the platform itself is better overall. So if that's the trade-off, that's the trade-off. Well worth it. So it's going to be headed by Vivek, and it's going to be headed by Elon Musk, and let's hope they do what it says it's going to do. Department of Government Efficiency. It's going to get rid of the bloat and just garbage in the government, and we're going to stop paying for it. Hopefully. That's the hope anyway, so we'll see what actually comes of it. Because, as things go, it's really hard to shrink government. It's really hard to get rid of federal employees. But we'll see how it goes. I hope they're successful in that. So let's continue here. The nation's capital is a ghost town with government buildings averaging an occupancy rate of 12%. Ernst wrote in the blistering report, if federal employees can't be found at their desks, exactly where are they? Let's see. President Biden is setting the example. He was out of office 532 days over the last 3.5 years. About 40% of the time he was expected to be in the Oval Office. So, I think we can all agree that Biden isn't running things. He probably never was. He's kind of just like a figurehead. That's what they said before he was even elected. They just need his corporeal form. They don't actually need him. And that's why they dropped him like a sack of potatoes to try to get Kamala in, because he's not actually the president. They're just controlling him. but they didn't think he'd win, or they thought I don't know what they thought exactly. I was surprised that they wanted to go for Kamala. I mean, Kamala's a terrible candidate. I probably would have voted for Joe over Kamala, to be fair. But no, Joe Biden is setting the example. I mean, 532 days. You're not there for 532 days. That's over a year. That's almost That's a year. That's over a year and a half. That's almost 2 years. Almost 2 years that you're not even where you're supposed to be, and we elected you to be there. That's I don't know how that's possible. That's crazy. Her office collaborated with Open the Books, a nonprofit group that advocates for government transparency for taxpayers and claims that the Biden administration redacted the work locations of over 281,000 rank-and-file employees. Leasing and maintenance costs for federal buildings, as well as the tab to keep them running, is about $15.7 billion annually. So $15.7 billion they could be going to, I don't know, aid when Hawaii caught fire, aid to Florida and the other states that got hit by massive hurricanes, Palestine, Ohio, when the train derailment, all those places, all those people that could have had the help. Nah. We're gonna waste it on remote workers and empty buildings. America, love it. Meanwhile, the government has ownership of about 7,697 vacant buildings and 2,265 that are somewhat empty, costing about $15 million for leasing and maintenance of underutilized space, according to her report. And then it's also got probably can't see here. No, you can't really see. I apologize for my setup. My setup is horrendous. I'll improve it as time goes on. But let's see. Department of Energy. Property name is Janes v. Forrestal. Let's see. It's got the address, the site. Estimated capacity is 4,838. What's the average daily occupant? 8. The average daily occupancy for the Department of Energy at this specific location, with an occupancy of almost 5,000. 8 people on average daily. Okay. If 8 people are showing up to work, sell the building, destroy the building, whatever. I don't give a crap. Get rid of the building. Why are we paying for it? And buy them a little office space. Why are we paying for a 5,000 occupancy building when 8 people show up to work? I'm not even addressing the fact that I think the remote workers should be fired. Let's say we keep them on. Let's say they do work from home, and it's fine to have them work from home. The people that are showing up for work, why is it that they have such a large building? Do they need such a large building? I highly doubt it. And that's just the first one. I mean, you can go into the listing here. I mean, the approximate utilization per occupant, 0%, 2%, 6%, 7%. I'll link the article in the description below so you can pull up this list yourself. But this is ridiculous. Top 10 emptiest government headquarters according to the Public Buildings Reform Board. If there's a building that has occupancy of 5,000 and less than 2,000 people are showing up, downsize the building. I can't believe that even needs to be said. Whoever owns the building, when they walk in and see how empty it is, they should just be like, we could probably downsize like 95%. It's just government waste. Government loves wasting our money that they steal from us. They love wasting it. Below Government Services concluded that taxpayers are getting ripped off. Yeah, no doubt. And claimed that her constituents were troubled by the lack of responsiveness from various government entities, such as the Social Security Administration, Food Drug Administration, and more. The report rattled through a handful of anecdotes, described the lack of competence from federal government. She cited an example of a whistleblower report at the FDA that was unread for months, warning that bacteria spreading in baby formula, which ultimately culminated in national shortage back in 2022. Another example cited in the report was a Department of Veterans Affairs manager in Atlanta who snapped a photo of himself working while taking a bubble bath, stirring outrage at the time. And I guess this is the picture you can't really see, but it's literally a government worker with a he's sitting in the tub and he has something to hold his laptop, and he's working in the bathtub. Don't you all wish you could do that? Don't you all wish you could just sit at home all day and get paid by the government to do fucking nothing? Like, if you're working on a computer, that's not very hard. I'm doing it right now. I'm here clicking away. I've had jobs where you just sit there and click on computers. It's not hard. It's very easy. Anyone can do it. There's no reason to be paying this guy at home. He should at least be showing up to work. I don't agree with the work from home shit. Like, me doing my videos right now, I'm doing them all for free. I do this because I like talking. If I was getting paid to show up somewhere, I would show up. I wouldn't be like, oh, I could just do videos at home. No, if you want me there, I'm gonna be there. I want to go to work. I don't want to be at home. Like, I'm gonna get paid for sitting on my ass. Like, that doesn't feel right. That does not feel right. Let's get down here. If you think that this is not a big deal, then what is a big deal? Is it a big deal when a veteran dies? One of his colleagues later fumed. According to the report, one federal employee moaned that he is one of few who reports to the Washington, D.C. office, and contractors have commented to him about the whereabouts of agency employees. I mean, that would be kind of cool, not gonna lie. You show up to work, nobody's there. I mean, I recently worked at an aerospace company. It's a very large building. I likened it to Monsters, Inc. in the morning. You know, you walk in and everyone, it's a big crowd is just walking. It's like the opening in one of the opening scenes in Monsters, Inc. That's what it feels like. Just everyone just walking out to the floor. But trying to imagine what that place would look like empty, I don't know, kind of eerie, like creepy, like just that. Like, even the building that I was in, there was probably only like 1,000, maybe 2,000 people at most at the time. The building that was listed here is 5,000. Only 8 people are showing up. I mean, are we just leaving all the lights on, or is the whole building lit up for like for 8 people? We're gonna light a 5,000 occupancy building for 8 people. And then this is what I was talking about earlier. Improper pay boost, to further her point about taxpayers getting ripped off, Ernst cited findings that some federal workers are cashing in on higher pay rates from localities where they are not actually working. My audits are finding as many as 23 to 68% of teleworking employees for some agencies are boosting their salaries by receiving incorrect locality pay. Some employees live more than 2,000 miles away from their office. Fired. Fire them. That's ridiculous. 2,000 miles away? You live in another state? You live 2 states away and you're working there? No. That's ridiculous. And one temporary teleworker collected higher locality pay for nearly a decade. What? He's temporary for a decade? All right. Okay, government. Cool. Nothing's more permanent than a temporary government action, right? After 25% of federal teleworkers on a daily basis over 25% of federal teleworkers on a daily basis live over 50 miles away from the workplace, a U.S. Office of Personnel Management found. So over 25% of them live over 50 miles away. Government salaries are determined in part by the locations of an employee's official work site. There are 58 locality pay areas with base pay for federal employees adjusted to account for the cost of living in each. So yeah, they're getting the locality pay for wherever these places are located, and then they're living in other areas where they would probably get paid less. So they're taking it, not only are they getting money for doing minimal work and not having to physically go into work, they're also getting paid at a higher rate than they should be. It's just stack it. Just keep stacking. Just more government shit, garbage. Let's see. I mean, it goes into union resistance. It basically talks about Joe Biden was like, hey, you guys need to return to work, and the unions shrugged it off. They don't care. Frankly, I don't care what Joe Biden says either, so I can't really blame him. But got a tweet here from Elon Musk. Let's see. And I lost it, apparently. Oh, no, here it is. This is the article. That's where I first saw the article. Elon had commented on it. What Elon is saying is if you exclude security guards and maintenance personnel, the number of government workers who show up in person and do 40 hours of work a week is closer to 1%. I don't doubt that for a moment. I mean, if there's 8 people at the building, what, 5 of them are security? Like, I mean, it might even be 6. It might be all 8. It might be all 8 are security. Like, he makes a good point. These buildings, they're very large and they're government buildings. They need security. They need maintenance. So, you know, it's probably like six security and 2 maintenance guys. Those are the 8 people. The 5,000 occupancy building, no one's shown up for work. No, it's all maintenance people that just walk around flipping the lights on. And then at the end of the day, they go around and flip them off. That's and security just walks around making sure they're good while they're doing it. I mean, hey, get your money. Get your money, I guess. Your security for an empty building. But I think that's where I'm gonna leave it. That's basically it. I think I made this video a lot longer than I thought I was going to. But I mean, what are we at? We're at 16 minutes already. So yeah, government sucks. Government steals your money, and then after stealing your money, they waste it. They waste it, and they use it on things that they shouldn't. And I wish that they didn't, but maybe we'll get there someday. Maybe we'll get there. We'll get to a point where our taxes aren't taken at such a high rate, or maybe we'll get to a point where the government figures out how to properly use that money. But I mean, that's a dream. That would be a dream. So, anyways, thank you for watching. I'll probably be posting more videos. Peace out.